So of course it's mold, right?
Yes.
And they did their best to try to cover it up, but
Okay.
like, and they were supposed to do the grout, and
Uh-huh.
they hadn't done it. You know, they're just trying to cover it up, and like, there's so much moisture in this. If you look at that mold report,
Yeah,
it shows
I printed
a lot.
it. That's what took me a minute. I printed it
It's
out.
a lot.
So, yeah.
So anyways, like before, when I reported it, beginning of August, and I told my landlord, who was the owner at the time, he was the one managing it for himself. He said, I'm getting really sick of it. It was all growing on the ceiling and stuff, and it's really bad around the base of the tile and the tub. You kind of see you can still kind of see it. But anyways, and I told him, hey, ever since you did that repair on the main water line, this has just been so bad. And I said, I'm sick of like the halfway fixes. Like if I definitely have mold in here. Because this was like black all the time. I had to spray with bleach all the time.
I'm going to take a photo, if you don't mind. I'm just taking photos to add to what you've already sent me.
For sure.
And this is what was,
that hole that was small, and he was able to get that. It was on the backing paper.
And who fixed that?
The property manager. I have it all on video too. So I had the mold report done.
Yeah.
And I got them, they came, they said, no, that's not mold. The lab test isn't even valid. I'm just like, you're crazy. Like, yeah, it is.
Okay, so they're aware that you got the mold.
Yeah, I have another video where they know that. And then they know all that. And so they came in and they said, okay, well, and I told them, well, look at this. Like, I pushed right here, the wall board, and I have a video of that. Okay. And she walks in and she says, no, she's like denying all this. And the maintenance supervisor's there and some office girl, maybe manager, but she didn't even touch the wall. And she says, oh, the walls are fine. I don't see any moisture. And I'm just like, okay, well then I got them to say, okay, well, I told him you got to replace that wallboard behind the thing. And I said, look at because the toilet was literally sunk into the wall.
Because it was the moisture. Okay.
No, they just put the wrong toilet in. It was into the wall, and the plaster was exposed and stuff.
I'm taking a photo of this just to show what it looked like. No.
And on one of the videos, I have the original when it was plastered into the wall. And so I'm just like, okay, well, they're going to remove all that. They're going to expose what's in there. Okay. And so they didn't do any asbestos testing or anything. It's a 1970 building, so that worries me a little. But then I had my mold tester come when they were opening all this up, or my mold inspector come back as an expert witness. Yeah. And so that's when he was I'll show you the inspection panel outside where he got that. You could take a picture of that. I have all these pictures I'll forward to you as well. But yeah, that was it. You see, this is mold. This is mold. They didn't do anything with the grout like they were saying they were going to. So this is mold, Yeah. Actually, I have to keep this open all the time. But I just noticed how much this is growing recently. You can see up here how that little piece is supposed to be painted just last Friday. It's already chipped off. Okay, and these corners, it's already separating.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they painted over moisture. That's why it's not working.
Yeah. Okay. Same with over here.
And all of this was black before. All of this down here.
And you have photos before photos?
Actually, not before they came the first time. And I was giving them I was giving them a chance. And I was like, hey, I'm going to withhold rent because I need this fixed. And the landlord is just being really mean and stuff. The pandemic put a lot of stresses on everybody. Yeah. And put it on me and him because I had to get 4 months worth of rent from the state. Yeah. Okay, so he threatened to evict me a couple times over the actually this dude has tried to evict me so many times out of here. Okay. And it really goes back a long ways. I've been telling him about this problem, especially this since the first year that I was here. Okay. And so he's known about the mold. He actually had his maintenance guy come and strip out the caulking and recock it, and then my plan was okay. This is straight after a divorce. I'm just gonna stay in here, get out of here as quick as possible. I was like trying to get my career going.
Yeah.
And then 2019 was a good year. I was getting ready to move out to 2020 to a different place, and then everything went to hell. So, but let me show you that.
I'll take, once you come out of there, I'll take photos of the corner there.
Yeah, get as far as up there as you want. I put that towel in there so you can step in there.
Thank you.
I would get below the faucet there too.
Yeah, I'll get that little, what's it called?
And if you look in the track of that window, like they left a bunch of like paint chipping and stuff.
From when they were painted, right? And they used it on Friday. Was it?
Yeah.
Or whenever they just.
Yep, on Friday.
Okay.
And then like again, the corner like that one right there, it's already peeling up.
Yeah.
Okay, it's doing the same thing over here.
Okay.
So it's like there's the inspection showed a lot of moisture in these walls, and even moisture in the kitchen next to it.
Okay.
Okay, and then of course you already know what I'm talking about with the moisture and they found there.
Yeah.
I'll show you the inspection panel outside because that's an easy one.
Okay.
If somebody with an endoscope can see it.
Okay.
I'm gonna maybe get your opinion on something else too, because they kind of threatened to evict me over having my garage as storage after all of this.
Okay.
You know, so and then they changed it to no, we're gonna evict you because you haven't paid rent. I'm like, well, you haven't fixed the mold. Like that's the only way I can do it, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I'm just I heard from what was his name? Javier? I heard from Javier that as long as they're like vehicles, bicycles, motorcycles, and then just random stuff, maybe storage. But anyways, here's the inspection panel up here that
you went in there?
the mold inspector was able to put an endoscope camera, a long one, and go up through the walls, and and that's what you see in those.
And this is your guys' unit.
That's mine, And so that's the number two inspection is when he did this one and he went into the wall as well. And the counts on the mold is extremely high.
Yeah, right? I just glanced. I just wanted to print it out before I came in and look at it thoroughly.
I think you'll get it.
But I printed it and I've already, in the response I sent, I CC'd Javier, so he has it as well.
Yeah, I think you guys get it. But I'm going to tell you what my hypothesis is. Is I'm an aircraft mechanic by trade. Like that's what I've been trained in. So, and I've known construction. Okay, so this pad was put here not very long ago.
This here? Okay.
There used to be an orange tree that was right here. Okay. It used to produce all kinds of insects to go up in the wall and so he removed that. Cool. Okay. So, but the thing is, he put this pad down. Okay. And this was probably, I don't know, 4 years ago, maybe 3.5, 4 years ago. And not long after that, on a windy day like today, this tree was swaying around, and all of a sudden, this pipe burst right here, this main water line. Okay, and so I'm
the tree was overgrown on it, basically.
Well, the main water line goes from here to just like that's a sister building. But the main water lines go to the middle and out. Okay. So, so he put this in. Not long after, this tree was flexing around, probably because they were hacking at the roots to put this in. It was flexing around and popped this main water line. Okay, and so you can see that he sweated in copper on that, and they just barely band-aided. That's what you would call like a quick repair until you could actually repair, right? And I know that that's supposed to be permitted. You can see it still twisting in there right now.
And this was when?
This was 2.5 years ago.
The quick fix.
Yeah. And so ever since then is when mold started growing on my ceiling more and more. The mold started getting more. So I told him, I said, dude, you can't just leave that. You got to finish fixing that. You don't know if there's a crack somewhere else. There was roots all the way around there. And so he was just like, no. And that's when he started to be combatant, because I'm like, dude, you had your handyman fix it, and you didn't go by the laws or rules or anything. I said, first of all, you reduce the pipe down to less than half of what it was originally, and per the size of this building, you got to have it, right? I think we talked about that before.
I think, yeah, or I spoke to the building and safety inspector, Fernando.
And they basically said that, hey,
what did he? This is his realm. I am not.
He said that he would have had to see them
physically
do this.
doing the illegal work or unpermitted work. Okay.
So, and this building has had a lot of plumbing repairs in the past few years. The one that's across from my door, he had a bathroom rupture and it did all kinds of damage in the lower front unit. The lower front unit actually has similar problem with mold, the same that I do with it growing on the ceiling. Okay. They've been here less time, so they're less vocal about it. Okay. I've been dealing with it this is 6 years being here, 5 years with knowing that I'm dealing with it. I'm pretty upset. But right now, like, it rained a lot and stuff, right? Yeah. But that little hunk of dirt isn't going to collect a lot of rainwater. Yeah. But if you stuck your finger down there, yeah, you know, it's really moist. Okay. And the other thing, it's just an observation, is this crack just about 2.5 years ago, since that happened, it literally grows grass in it now. It didn't do that before. And like, there's extra, like, for me, and this thing right here, that used to be pretty solid. Yeah. Now it's getting lower and lower. So, and if you pick this up, it is like mud in there, you know. But so I understand flow and all that stuff. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you look at this pipe here and how that is. His too? No, but these are sister buildings. They were built at the same time. I don't know if he was the same owner of both. Okay. But they both have plumbing problems like all the time. Okay. This one, she just got done whole new kitchen because of a plumbing issue. So, but that's what the original main is supposed to look like, and that's what they did. Yeah. And then they didn't properly do it. If it was permitted and inspected, there would have been pressure tests on it. They would have made sure that, okay, we made the repair here, but let's make sure there's nothing under the foundation. Because that's what I'm afraid of now. There's extra moisture, and it's seeping up right there through that building. And, you know, that's why all of a sudden my ceiling over the past pandemic time, and it starts growing mold, and I start complaining about that. This guy's like not nice. And then as soon as I put it in writing, hey, I want this mold fixed, I'm not paying rent, he immediately hires a property management company, and they become more hostile towards me, to where they're even threatening eviction and making me remove my stuff out of my garage. So that's the other thing. I just wanted you to, you know, take a look at my garage. Photos of the cracks, because it's property maintenance. Even though it does seem like it's a facial issue, this still can be a property maintenance. So I'm just taking photos. Well, this could be flexing a lot. You know, if there's water flowing underneath it, there could be a sinkhole, you know, forming. Yeah, I've been around the block. I know what's up, you know. Which? I'll just show you this one over here. They're both basically the same. I just want to know that, like, this is a normal looking garage, and because they're trying to evict me, saying that I'm presenting fire hazard and stuff like that.
So I will tell you.
Because, like Javier said, as long as, like, I have bikes and motorcycles, and like, a lot of this is family heirlooms from stuff that parents have died and stuff. Yeah. Like, recently.
If there's these bikes in here, then you can use it for it's still being used for the main purpose of a garage.
Right.
I'm sure that's what Javier was going with. Yeah, yeah. Let's say these racks were all the way across, and there was no way that, you know, like, again, that one's cool over there because you can walk in there. There's nothing left.
And they got bikes and stuff in there.
Yeah, yeah. It's if it's like packed.
To the brim. With boxes. It's just yeah. So that's the way this one is, and this is the owner's. Okay. The owner puts this as storage, and it's one of those things. He used it for construction storage for his other unit. So I just wanted to make sure I'm at least close.
To store vehicles, which this is it's still used. This is the intended use of the garage.
Right.
If you're using it as storage and you couldn't get in, and then it could be like if there's paperwork or phone books or something
fire hazard
stacked up, that's when it becomes an issue. Then you've altered the use of the garage. But this is still being used as in a garage because it has, vehicles in here. So this is
right. Yeah.
So this, like Javier said, this would be appropriate use for the garage.
Okay, and if I had, let's say, like I have all kinds of tools underneath here at the bottom. Like in this other garage, like I have a drill press when I'm, it's not, I mean, you can have simple tools available.
You can use it for storage, but it does need to be able to be accessible to fit a vehicle or a motorcycle.
Right. This one, same thing. There's like a couple motorcycles.
Yeah.
So, and that's what he rented it to me for in the first place. Mm-hmm. And now that initially they said, oh, we're going to evict you over the storage of your garage. And then they switched it to, not paying rent.
Yeah.
The thing is if you look at it, like from my point of view, is you're threatening to evict me because I'm telling you I'm not going to empty my garages. I think I'm well within the intent of the law and within code thought, So, and then they're like, well, then they come back like, we're going to evict you for the not paying rent. So, but why would I pay rent if I'm afraid that they're getting ready to evict me because I just refused to do what they said? Mm-hmm. And they literally sent me a letter saying they're going to do that.
Yeah.
They even told me that they're going to cut the locks off and remove the stuff themselves and charge me for it. I said, you better not touch my stuff.
Yeah.
So they're getting really hostile, and it's like, like Javier asked, is there retaliation? Yeah, I mean, I have to keep looking out my window to make sure nobody's come out here and messed my stuff.
Yeah.
These people keep creeping around and putting envelopes on your door, and they keep giving 24-hour to enter notices when all they have to do is make an appointment. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I want it fixed. I've been asking for it to be fixed for 5 years. Yeah. If this guy would have fixed it 5 years ago, he would have saved himself a lot of trouble. It's his building.
Yeah.
It's a $2 million building. Treat it like such,
Yeah,
so.
I get it. Okay.
But anyways, thanks for looking at this.
Showing just that it's being used for its intended purpose.
Okay.
If any, with the motors, it's being, used to store the motor vehicles in here. So that's okay. Yeah, if it's no way you could fit anything in here, that's when it would be considered a niche. That's when which there are some that
I'm sure
look like that, especially,
Like I said, I'm pretty meticulous, aircraft mechanic by trade, drone pilot by career right now.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to move everything out really quick. If it's not on wheels, I try to put it on wheels, And
okay.
I got two big sons. You saw one of them. They get stuff out of here real quick.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So, but cool, I appreciate that.
No worries.
So,
I'm just going to walk and look and think of the front, like if there's any overgrown vegetation, things like that, which are also
wait, you should look back here too. I'll show. Let me close this. I mean, full disclosure, Elle.
This is your guys' fence?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had, there was people running through here almost running me over and stuff before, so that sits like that now.
Okay. So technically there needs to be some, like right now I actually was just over Bloomfield and Catella for a bin that was in the middle of the alley.
Yeah.
So then a proper trash enclosure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take, just so you know, I'm taking a photo of this as a property maintenance thing. Okay.
Okay, and full disclosure, because like I believe in that, and if I'm here and I'm making complaints, I also made a complaint about there's people staying in one of the garages too. Okay. If you smelled that nasty smell come out of the garage, that's because in one of the garages, the bigger one, there's somebody who's actually, staying there. I don't know, they're hard times. The people up front are really big-hearted, so I don't know, but so I just full disclosure, because if that came up later, that wouldn't be good for me. So, You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I did, and that was something I did let the property management know in one of my one of my replies here recently. I think when I gave them the mold repairs and telling them and the inspection report in the beginning of January. So it's not something I feel bad for people, but at the same time, like, I have to watch my back, right?
Everybody needs to be held accountable. We're all held up to the same standards when it comes to this stuff, especially. Like, I get it.
Well, and the thing is the property manager's coming after me now and to tell me that they're going to evict me over whatever reason.
So you have this going on here, so
the quality of living has changed drastically. Not only because the mold is such a big problem, but this is also an issue. It's also a health hazard, not only for me, but for my neighbors too. They all see it too, and
yeah,
like, they know what's going on. Like, we're all real close around. Yeah. You know how this community is, you know. So, but yeah. So let's go look.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that out here, so I don't have to throw anybody under the bus. You can figure out how you figured that out.
Yeah.
I told him get them out of here now. Like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So this gets overgrown a lot, but and then it's saturated with spiders and stuff at certain times. But they got it pretty good right now.
Okay.
They got it pretty good right now.
Okay.
You might want to look at that laundry room. I mean, he kind of did some weird, funny stuff with the venting of the there's a vent coming out of there's like a washer and dryer on the other side of this wall too, and this unit. Mm-hmm. And this is the vent system they have going out of it. Before, it was a lot worse.
Okay, I'll take a photo of this. This is not, again, really in my realm.
Yeah.
I don't know much. I don't know, but
while you're here, you might as well take a picture of all the things that look shady.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like, this first thing that happened right here was kind of the lead to everything, and then the pandemic slowing down my ability to move out of here, which would have ultimately been best, but whatever, so this is my concern, is that there's a leak still under here, and I wouldn't bring it up if it wasn't a big deal. He did that. He just sweated pipe in there to get it to stop running out here and be able to get it back on. That reduced the water pressure by so much. Okay. And so that's another thing too. Like, I'm worried about, like, the water. We have a certain pressure for a certain reason. That's to flush out contaminants.
Have you had I know it's pricey. Have you had a plumber come out and do, like, tests on the pressure and look at that?
Well, the problem with contractors or plumbers or anybody, they will only deal with the owner or the property manager. Yeah. So I could do that. Like, I could do all the tests.
Like my building inspector said, unless you were to see somebody over here, which he does find people doing work, and he'll stop them and he'll say, do you guys have a permit for that? And then he'll contact the owner. It's hard for him to, and since he's not a trained plumber, he's trained in the building code.
Right.
That's his thing.
There's code that says you can't replace that without permit. So there's a really quick.
Yeah, the unpermitted work, but that's when he needs to see it happening.
So with the problem with the mold, tricky. It is, but with the problem with the mold, and then the remediation, schedule, like, my mold inspector laid it out, like, you saw it. And so if you're going through that remediation and you're trying to find out where the moisture's coming from, you're also going to look into this bathroom too, because if it's as bad in my bathroom as it is, it's probably pretty bad in there too. Yeah. And then you look down through this inspection hole, and then you see, like, visible moisture. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I think that's crap, because like if you're going to have a rule and a law, you have to have a way to enforce it.
Yeah.
And when somebody sees something and says something,
yeah.
and to say, hey, you didn't see it unless we seen it. That's a bad.
Well, I understand. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know, like what I like this. When it comes to building, that's him. I don't do anything with the building code.
Well, now that you already started a process here, now you're seeing it, and you know that it's wrong.
I don't, but I'm not trained as a plumber. No. I wouldn't be able to. That's what I mean. Like I have a photo of it, but as far as the enforcement of that, I'm not a plumber. I don't know anything about any of that.
Well, I'm sure if you showed it to a plumber, they'd be like, "Hey, what's that?"
But we don't. Unfortunately, we don't have a plumber on. We have the one building and safety code guy. We don't have a plumber or a mold guy. If we did, we would have them. Come
well, the building and safety code guy. I mean, honestly, if I'm going at this for a fight, I'm going to go all the way. If somebody at city doesn't want to do their job, I'll make sure that the next person who gets their job does the job.
Yeah,
and does it for the citizens.
You can contact Fernando Zarate. He's the building.
Well, I'm hoping he contacts me, because I mean, this mold issue's the big issue, and we know that there is, because of the reports, and I mean that's a California scheduled remediation issue. You know what I'm saying? So. That's law that you have to go by what they say, and figure it out the right way. So, but for me, if you had a guy come, this is a shoddy job. If you had someone with the certification come say that, but I mean, I would, but at the same time, like I have a building, a neighbor who, or not a neighbor, but a building inspector that. He was going to come and do some stuff and say, are you talking about like a building inspector? And he could do a pressure test, and
the pressure test,
like for home sales and building inspector, that type of guy.
Yeah, like you would contract, like the mold guy would come and do that and get those reports. I was just curious if you've had that.
I have a guy that I was getting ready to. I was going to use him for the mold inspection too, but I was like, maybe I should go with the mold inspector for that. But him, I'll call him for this. He already knows about this, and he told me he can't be doing that. But I mean, so then when he does that, he has to submit that to the city, or how that kind of elevates how?
I'll talk to Fernando, because this is something that I don't know anything about, any of this.
I mean, if that's all he needs is a building inspector to come out and do it on my behalf.
I'll talk to him when I go back to the office after this. I'm going straight back to call Javier and let him know that I've conducted the inspection. But I'll talk to Fernando.
Okay.
I can even have him call the number that I have for you. Is that
for sure? 100%.
Yeah, I'll do that. They're off. They work Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But I'll speak to him.
Yeah, I actually tried to call like a week ago or something. Maybe I had his card or something.
Possibly.
Or maybe I tried to call the office, but you guys are always all closed on Friday, right? Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing too, is it's been a real struggle for me to actually figure out the steps to take to get this handled properly, and to not be taken advantage of, to not be evicted, to I'm just sick of it. Like seriously, my throat's been sore because of the crap they sprayed on the ceiling before they painted it last week. It's been sore all week, but so if you need a building inspector to go through and actually declare that as what it is, like he wouldn't allow this to be sold like that.
So the thing here in the city is some cities, they do full apartment, condo, home inspections before they sell, and Los Alamitos we don't
Oh,
have
really?
There's some big cities they do that before if you get a new renter, if you get a new owner, they're big enough that they have a department that can do that, but
you guys should hire me as a consultant. I'll come and streamline that stuff, show you how to enforce, use your labor force.
Yeah, well, some big cities, there are good things about being small, but some big cities, they do that for every single, let's say somebody from unit 6 leaves before somebody else comes in.
Yeah.
They inspect all of the units like that because they have the manpower for that. But
that's the way it should be, and that I mean, honestly, that's the way it should be, just by ethics standards. If you're going to get into the whole business of owning property,
being a business owner, that's what it is.
You should make sure that your product's always top notch, and don't give anybody any reason to be able to come after you or question you or anything. Just make it perfect.
Yeah.
So, but as far as that goes, like, I just want this thing, like, I was forced to stay here during the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, and it is what it is now. Work hasn't picked up 100% for me. I have some really good things going, but just not perfect yet. So it's just like, hey, I just want it right, you know, and please just do the right thing. And now with the retaliation stuff and them like just completely trying to make my life hard, I'm just a divorced dad who tried hard as he could to get 50%.
Yeah.
And he pretty much has it. And it's just like people, you know, some people,
I know.
they don't, they try to make it harder, you know, and
I get
this guy has walked around like, when he was interviewing his property managers, or at least one of them I saw him with, he was walking through here and he was pointing out like tenants on the thing. He literally pointed up at my apartment and said, "That's the racist up there." So I heard him say it. Could I prove it? I can't prove it, but I heard him say it. My windows were open. It was the middle of the summer. I don't have AC running, you know, so. But I just want it fixed. Okay. You obviously see that there's mold growing up in there, and they've patched it up.
As well as the report that you sent of.
And I have even more, the whole process of them doing it. I have videos of the meetings in between me and the property manager, so those might not be as important to you as just the photos, but I have the process photos, just like from where you saw it, where it started as a hole to where the toilets were moved, the walls were moved, all that other stuff's done. I got pictures of what looks like mold on the ground, and I mean, you already saw pictures on the backing paper of that plaster.
So when did they do this little fix?
They crammed it in from Wednesday of last week to Friday. So Wednesday they took about 3-4 hours. They got here about 9. Did some measurements on the toilet and drywall. He left the hole in the wall, and then he went for about an hour. Then he had all that back together by 2 o'clock. And then at that point, he's spraying that crazy bleach solution on the ceiling. I'm just like, what? I'm just like, so seriously? I smelt it. Yeah. So he's spraying that bleach solution on the ceiling. I smelt it. I'm just like, what? Did you really just spray that shit? Like, your boss told me, don't be breathing this. Let's close this door. And he's just spraying it on. And I'm just like, really? You just sprayed that? And he knew I was upset. And I asked him, I said, are you mold certified and stuff? He said, yeah, I'm mold certified. I said, you got a card? And he said, yeah, I got a card. So he pulled it out. And it's literally an 8-hour certification, like an 8-hour awareness course. And it's not anything saying that you can treat mold or do mold. It's literally the course that says you can identify mold and stop and not cover it back up and keep going. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what this company is working off of. And they keep saying, oh, we're certified. Well, if you're certified, you wouldn't tell me that moisture doesn't allow for the spreading of the spores, you know, literally, you know. This guy is so dumb. He stuck his finger up in the stuff after he had the first mold report. There's number 1 and number 2. After he had the first mold report, he gets up in there and he's looking at it. He sticks his finger up on the ceiling and he sticks it to his nose. I have it on video. I said, are you crazy? Or like, I wouldn't be sticking that up to your nose, dude. Like, trying to, I hate that people are trying to reduce my intelligence level to theirs just to get their point across. Like, and this is the thing, is I'm just sick of dealing with it. Nobody should have to deal with that. You know, so. But I appreciate you guys coming out so quick. It means a lot.
We try to at least respond quick so that you know that we were here and we're trying to do something. But I have these photos. I'm gonna, you know, like I said, I always call Javier after because he's the senior officer and kind of give him the rundown. So I'll do that right when I get back into the office. I'm sure he'll be in contact with you as well. I'll be in contact with you. I'm going to walk the front of the property and see if there's any other
things you can see. Well, that's the thing is even just a few years ago, they ripped up the whole front of the property. That's why there's new grass. And they did a lot of drainage and stuff. going out to the sewer. So that probably had to be permitted, I would think, with being so visible. So that's the problem, like with the whole plumbing thing. That whole like, hey, I have to see it before I could do something.
Yeah.
That's a bad one. You guys should work on fixing that.
That's kind of, I know it sounds silly, but that's like that's just, they say it's hearsay. You know, like if you don't like your neighbor, oh, my neighbor dumped their mattress over here on our side.
That's different.
And I'm like, well, I wasn't there to see that. That's what that is, that we take that from the PD side of things.
Yeah. So
that's where that came about.
But when it comes, that's different. That's a dispute between neighbors. That's not a contractual issue.
No, I'm just like, that's why we adopted that, because we have people that are just don't like their neighbor.
I get it.
Well, so-and-so,
I'm glad you have it for that reason. Okay.
That's what that
but
is.
When it comes to contractual issues between homeowners or renters and the property owners and property managers, like that's where, like, if you don't take the report and take it seriously, like because of the contractual issue, then we start to lose a little bit of grasp, and then everybody just has to deal with it, you know. So
that's why, we try. We're more hands-on here than other cities with the tenant landlord disputes, because usually that's like a legal thing that cities, we're not supposed to get involved in that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Here we're here to gather the documentation and do what we can for you.
Yeah.
But we try to get in where we can and assist. Like with this report, we have photos. We have the mold inspections. I'll walk the front and see if, I know it sounds like it's minute things, but things as far as
code enforcement. Yeah.
That's what
That's your job.
Things that I'm gonna add. Try to do what we can do.
I appreciate it, and I don't expect you guys to do much more than handle the issue that has an effect on my health. I mean, this one right here could have an effect on my health, but listen, it's not the end of the world. But at the same time, if it's the root cause for what's going on, like that's how come I showed you, is because of that.
I understand, and I have photos of that as well. But still, anything that I can document,
I get it. I like that about you. And I think you guys are doing it's a great little city. I've been here for a really long time, and like when I did get divorced and I sold, we went to Lakewood, bought a house for a little bit, before the divorce, and once it was all finalized, I'm like, I'm going to rent an apartment in Los Alamitos and keep my kids in that school district for the entire time. Yeah. And they, that's been their only school that they've ever been to, so. That's good, and I'm proud about that. So but I would have liked to have found a place on the bottom floor, maybe a little bigger. You see, it is what it is. But
it is, yeah.
But God or whoever is in charge puts us in hard situations to deal with them.
That we can't handle, right?
And now I'm learning how to deal with this for next time, or maybe I'll just own my own property or buy a property building and just be a better landlord than the guy I've always had to deal with, Yeah. So, okay, well, I appreciate your help, Al.
I'm gonna, if you see me, I'm just walking around the front. That's all that
It's all good. I'm just going upstairs, kids up there, so I appreciate you coming by and getting your pictures.
I'll get this going. I'll call Javier. I'll let him know.
Do you need any of the owner information or the property manager?
So I can actually just put in the building and
you get that.
His mailing address, which physical address, we can get all that from our end. So I have all that.
Because at the end of the day, it's the owner that's responsible, not even the
owner. Even something like we mentioned, as silly as a mattress, even if I saw a tenant Kevin walk out and put his mattress. All right, you're the owner of the property. You're responsible for your property.
You don't call the property management. You don't call the agent. You call him.
And then if he sees this, he's gonna hand it to them. That's on him. That's between those two. What we're doing is we're gonna hold the owner responsible for the property that they own.
Good.
Okay. Which some of them, aren't happy with that, but I'm like, you're gonna have to pick who you have live in your property better. We're not gonna help.
Or pick the repairs you do better and how you do them. That
you're the owner of the
when
property.
You pick the people who work on your property, you need to pick that better. That's the thing. Is this guy used a guy who was kind of a handyman. I don't want to bash on the illegal thing, but he seemed to be kind of illegal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? At least doing the work illegally. You know? Yeah. So that used to be a big deal when I was younger. When I was in the supervisor role for construction companies and stuff, like
Yeah.
like if we got caught hiring illegals and stuff, we would have got thrown in trouble, like a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And not that I think that all illegals are bad or there's not a reason for them to come, but you know, I don't want them like doing repairs that should go to somebody who's here paying taxes, doing all this stuff, and they know how to do it. They know the codes. California is very strict on codes, and I know that because I've been here my whole life, so. But I appreciate your help. You're doing a good job, and I look forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah, I'll probably just walk around, take some photos, and then
for sure
head back. I'll have your upload.
If you want, you can kind of notice like the moisture. Like you can see this is kind of dry here, and then as you get back here, like it's extremely wet. There's not even a sprinkler over here.
Yeah. It's just...
And so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, and then once you get, I went all the way up to my knuckle there. Once you come over here, like it starts to dry out.
Yeah, you're not getting that same. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's an indication of fall. Okay. Like you see the fall already. So moisture's not going to go too far up this way. But then you have this right here that's like a soup all the time. And, that's actually been like that. So, and just pushing the whole, like I'm really pretty positive there's a leak under there. I wouldn't say it if I wasn't pretty positive,
we're not just gonna say,
And like I said, I'm an aircraft mechanic, so I know how physics and construction and materials and erosion and corrosion and all that works. So I'm literally certified by the federal government to know all that stuff. So it's kind of, you guys hiring? So, all right. Well, thanks again, Al.
We'll be in touch.
Okay, sounds good.
Do a quick, I'll be
Take your time. Do what you gotta do.
7 minutes at max, but.
You want me to escort you in case somebody else?
Just so you know.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Thanks again.
See you later.
Okay. Bye bye.